If you watched my last video with the $20 grocery haul, you'll remember that there was a recipe I wasn't able to get to before I had to publish my video. A while back, one of my viewers mentioned this dish to me, and I've been wanting to try it ever since. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this, but these are French words, and gâteau means cake in French, and piment means pepper, so this translates to chili cakes. This is a recipe from the island of Mauritius, which is off the eastern coast of Africa. Most of the language that is spoken there is French Creole, and I'm not sure if there's any pronunciation difference in those words if it's French Creole. Anyhow, let's just call these fritters for now. And by the way, doesn't this place look beautiful? This is supposed to be made with yellow split peas, but I was only able to obtain chana dal, so I'll be using that instead. And chana dal is made from split chickpeas, and it's a different variety of chickpea than the one that we normally see here in the stores in the US. I soak these overnight in water, and then I drain them. Next, I'll blend these up in my blender. So this is the consistency that I wanted. I still have some pieces of the peas in there. You don't want it entirely blended. I'm going to be adding some spices along with some onions, jalapenos, and Italian parsley. These are generally made with cilantro, but I'm basically just using what I have on hand. I think these are meant to be eaten as hot as you can possibly stand them, but I'm just going to be adding a moderate amount of jalapeno to try my first time. I think you could throw these into the food processor, but I think I'll just rough cut these and then add them into the pea mixture. I'm going to add half teaspoon of turmeric. I also added in a half teaspoon of cumin and a small amount of salt, but it doesn't look like I got it on camera. I formed these into little balls, but it was actually easier when I did it in my hand. I think that the little scooper I had was too small. And then I'm just going to fry these until they're crispy and they should be done. I was afraid these were going to fall apart in the pan, but they fried up nicely. And I think these are done, so I'm just going to go ahead and drain them on some paper towels. I have to say, I really like the looks of these. That turmeric gives them a beautiful yellow color. And they're so crispy. Wow, that's really good. You know what? This does need more salt though. I didn't salt it quite enough. But wow, the texture on that is nice. I really like this. It's so different and so unexpected. And what's so surprising is that I didn't even cook the chickpeas. I just blended them up. But I do feel like this needs some kind of sauce with it. So I was looking around to see what I could make that would maybe go with this. And I had this yogurt that I had set aside for something else that I was going to do on my channel. But I thought I would just use a little bit of this and then just add a little chipotle to that and blend that up and then use that as a dip. And that was really good. I read that these are sold by street vendors as snacks in Mauritius, but it's also served buttered with bread, and I believe that bread is a soft bread. I wish I had some, but I only have the sourdough bread, but I thought I would try this that way, and it was pretty good. But I had to sleep on this and think about this dish some more because I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing with these, and I felt like their potential was for so much more. Okay friends, I have a new plan for how to use this. I still have some ingredients left over from my haul. I'm going to cut these up to use with the fritters, and I'm going to try and eat one of these the same way you would eat falafel. So I'm cutting up the cucumbers, and I've got a few tomatoes left over that I can use. I don't have any pita bread, but I do have some tortillas that are left over from that Cinco de Mayo haul. I think I'm going to like the crispy texture of these veggies along with that fritter, and also this Italian parsley is going to have a nice fresh taste. I do wish this was cilantro, but that's fine. This tastes good, so I think that that'll be nice, and I think that the key is going to be adding enough of the sauce to my wrap. Also, I'm going to add a little baking powder to this to make it a little fluffier, and then I'm also adding in another onion because we're getting a lot of the flavor from that. I'm also going to add in some sesame seeds because I do have it and I do love them, so I think they'll be good in here. And then I'm going to add some more salt because that first batch I made didn't have enough salt, and so I felt like that was lacking. Another thing that I realized that I did wrong the first time was I didn't let it set after I made the ingredients. The flavors do need time to kind of meld together and season everything. I'll try baking some of the balls this time, and I'm also going to try one of these burger style and see how that works out. If these make great meals, this would be a good budget meal for a family. There's lots of protein in split peas, or in my case it's a chickpea, but lots of protein still, and tortillas are inexpensive, and so are hamburger buns. I might have cut my balls, but I really just wanted to bite into those because they just look so good to me. And I have to say, I think the key to me enjoying this is having a sauce that I really like, because I'll just tell you right now, this was really good. I enjoyed this so much, and it was actually surprising because I've had some mixed feelings about falafel. And also, I don't think I've always liked that yogurt sauce. You know, when I've ordered it at the Middle Eastern places, I think maybe I haven't given it a fair shake though. I think I'd like to go back and kind of see what my feeling about it is now, because I really enjoy this. I feel like the crispiness of those veggies were awesome. And then the chipotle sauce that I made was really good, but I did need more sauce because I didn't make enough. I'm definitely keeping the rest of these in the fridge because I'll be using these for my lunch and dinner for the next couple days. I also tried this on a hamburger bun. These are the Great Value buns that I keep in the freezer. Right now, these cost about 19 cents each. I added a little shredded cheddar to the top of the burger patty that I made, and I used relish and ketchup and some of the lettuce because I already had it. Oh, and I also toasted the bun with a little oil on top and put it in my toaster oven because they do look a little gnarly when they come out of the freezer. I love the addition of relish on my burgers. Okay, here's my pea burger. It's a pea burger. This was surprisingly good, and it tasted kind of like a regular burger that I eat with those veggie patties. I think I should have made it just a little bit thinner, but it was really good. It's surprising how you can change the complete flavor profile of something just by switching out the condiments, like using the ketchup and the extra sharp cheddar, which I associate with burgers, and also that relish that I love so much. This completely tastes like an American meal now, and I could see myself making these patties up and then putting them in the freezer and then just throwing them in the toaster oven, or you could fry them. Either way, they do get crispier deep fried instead of baked, but I do like the idea of using less oil. So there's that, but this is definitely a keeper, and I feel like this is something that if you're trying to eat on a budget, to have this in your wheelhouse, because there are so many different things that you could do with this. And I also think you could buy that French bread at Walmart for, I think it's like $1.50 now, somewhere around there, and you could make a bunch of baguette sandwiches with these for supper, and that would be very inexpensive. Okay friends, for my next video, I'm working on meals for families, and it'll include a recipe that at least 4 of my subscribers have shared with me. So I'm thinking it must be a good recipe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you Sunday.